So let's talk about lavalier microphones. I've got to be honest, they are not that exciting to me, but they're one of those things that we have to talk about if we're talking about making videos or recording good quality audio. Are they worth it? Do you need one? Since you're watching this video, I'm guessing that you're probably considering this, the Comica CVM-V02O Lavalier microphone. Yeah, I know it sounds about as exciting as watching snow melt in the South Pole, but trust me, it just might be important. You know, good quality audio is vital. And the question is, will you get it with this mic? Let's find out. Firstly, let's talk about lavalier or lav mics. They're those occasionally obnoxious looking mics that people place on their shirts or their jackets. If you're a preacher or a regular public speaker, then you're probably not going to be using a lav mic, you'll be using a headset mic. But lav mics can be useful in the right situation. Having said that, they can be a nightmare in others. For example, if you're a YouTuber who wants to make a few videos in your office or your bedroom or your basement, yeah, it could be okay. But if you're on stage and you want to amplify the sound to an audience, it's going to be hard work. You're going to struggle with feedback and it's going to be a problem. Usable, but a problem. Of course, the higher quality lav mic you buy, the better, but like me, you're probably looking for a good budget option. There are shotgun mics like the Rode NTG2 that I'm using right now, and they're pretty good, but they pick up a lot of extra noise in the room. Budget lavs aren't much better in that regard, but there's a big plus that the shotgun mic has over a wired lav, and that's that you're not attached to it, which sounds obvious, right? But if, like me, you're using something like a Zoom H4n attached to a power supply, it makes moving around a bit of a pain. And it's also worth mentioning that if you don't attach the lav mic well, you can get a bit of shuffle noise from the mic kind of rubbing against your clothes. So that's a bit annoying too. But enough generic talk about lavs. Let's talk specifically about this CVM-V02O. Let's switch from the Rode NTG2 shotgun mic to the Comica Lav now. So, I'm not even going to say it now, that long mic name, which is just an awful name for a product, it sells itself as an omnidirectional, phantom-powered, 5.9 foot long wired lavalier mic with a regular XLR connector. And it's important to point out that it can only be used with phantom tap power. So if you're new to audio recording, what that means is that it has to be connected to something that can externally power it. For example, the Zoom H4n that I pointed you to earlier, or a sound desk or something like that. According to Comica's Amazon page, it's ideal for YouTube, podcasting, home studio recording, gaming, conference calls, and interviews and all that stuff. And well, is that true? Well, firstly, I want to show you how the gain is set. So it's an interesting thing here. A few weeks ago, I showed you the Rode pod mic. I don't know if you remember that. That's a really great mic, and the gain for that is normally pretty high, like around 85 or something like that when we record pod mics. But look at this. You probably can't see it, but the gain is set to somewhere around, well, it's set to 1. That's crazy low. This is what the audio sounds like in a fairly normal, untreated office without any processing. It costs about $70 on Amazon, but here's a nice detail. You get 2 of them, which is why I'm able to hold one up and show you, which is really helpful for something like an interview or a podcast. But let's see what it sounds like with a little bit of processing added. I've added some compression, adjusted the EQ, added noise reduction, and tried to soften some of the reverb from the room as best as I could. Maybe you'd do a much better job of working with the audio than I have, but it can definitely give you a sense of what you're getting yourself in for. So it comes with this little guy, a wind muff, which to be honest, I can't really imagine anyone wearing while they record, and also a slightly less intrusive foam pop shield thingy, but I've got it without the shield on at all. And I have to say, for the price, I think that Comica has produced some pretty good lavalier microphones. Do they sound incredible? Well, no, I probably wouldn't say that, but I think for the budget, they're much better than I expected. And when you compare it to the onboard mic of something like the Panasonic G5, which you can hear right now, you can see that it could well be worth the price tag. If you have the time, I would recommend rewinding to the beginning when I was using this Rode NTG2 shotgun mic and comparing it with the lav mic. And this is the thing, keep in mind that the NTG2 is about $270 US, but you also need a big boom stand. And so the question you might need to ask is the difference in sound quality worth the massive jump in price? Well, that's not for me to say, but I would, just so you know, I would recommend buying the longer cable if you're looking at getting this mic. It looks like you can buy a longer option on Amazon, and the shorter 5.9 feet one is a little bit restrictive, but then again, it might be exactly what you're looking for. So that's it from me today. If you found this video helpful, please let me know by giving it a like or leaving a comment below. I always do my best to respond to every comment, as long as it's kind of not a mean, jerky one. But I would be so pumped as well if you would consider subscribing at this point, as we look at more photography and videography stuff in the coming months. Have a great day.